Hello and welcome to another free lesson here on Hinrichs.com. I want to talk a little bit today about congas and some other hand drums as they're applied in non-traditional settings. What I'm going to talk about here is based on the experiences I've had. I'm sure this might spawn some differences of opinion from some people, and I welcome the discussion. Anyway, congas always seem to be the go-to groove instrument for percussionists when it comes to contemporary music. By that I mean pop, rock, R&B, jazz, folk, those styles. I think that has to do with a couple of things. One is that congas just seem to have a very agreeable tone, a timbre, a sound that complements a traditional rhythm section very, very well. Another thing is that they have specific pitches. Each conga has a very strong fundamental pitch. Bum, 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 bum. I'm a great singer. But you can sing those pitches, and because the fundamental is very strong, they cut when they're in an ensemble. A djembe, for example, is a great drum. The problem I find with it, whether it's in an arena or a small club, if you're in a good-sized band, a 4 or 5 piece band, this tone tends to get lost. And I don't know how much you can hear in the cruddy little mic in that camera, but the open tone of a djembe has a very complex harmonic recipe. There's a less prominent fundamental pitch. There's all kinds of partials and harmonics in that, and it tends to get lost in an ensemble. This drum too, I got this in Guadeloupe, and I love this drum. It's got so many nuances. It's the same thing. When a full band gets going, those open tones just don't penetrate. The slaps, they do. But it's very, very challenging for a sound man, even if he loves you and loves percussion, to find a place for that in the mix. So, the topic that would naturally follow is tuning congas to specific pitches based on the key that the band is playing in. I myself don't get too caught up in that, really. If I'm on a recording session, I will always ask the leader or the producer if they want the congas tuned to specific pitches, the tonic and the dominant, or whatever. And it's about 50-50 as to whether or not they have a preference. If there's a key change, or even a chord change, suddenly it doesn't seem so important. I mean, you wouldn't expect a keyboardist or a guitarist to play the same 2 notes through a whole piece. It's going to sound pretty funny when the chords change. So what to do? My experience, and I welcome any opinions you have on this, is that as listeners, we tend to be very forgiving of drums and percussion when it comes to pitches. Even though these do have specific pitches, my sense is that when we listen, we tend to not to really focus on the tonal center of drums. We perceive them, but we kind of put them in a different place in our listening head. It says, I'm not going to hear that as part of the harmonic structure. That's rhythm. The advice that I would follow is just to tune your congas to pitches that they sound really good in and that you feel comfortable playing with. Unless the person in charge wants them tuned a certain way.